Hey, you guys, this is Nessyp of Nessyp Entertainment. I got an extra treat. I got two young men on here tonight. I am so excited. These are members of a group called Debonnaire. Debonnaire. Y'all know if I get when I get all excited, I can't talk. So y'all, my listeners, they already know that. So it's Debonnaire music. And I have Mr. Willie Wood and Mr. Phill Carroll. So I do have a question. All these questions are to both of these guys.
Okay.
So how did you guys come up with debonair music, and why use the word music instead of just debonair? Because that's sexy. To me, that's my opinion.
Well, it's funny because it's years ago when we first got together, we were we called ourselves Slam.
Okay.
And Slam stood for singing like a mother. So everywhere we would get booked, people thought we were a rap group.
Okay.
So we decided that once our lead singer joined the group, that we needed to soften the name but keep the edge. You can't do both because people weren't booking us. So we changed the name, and it was actually our lead singer. His name is Smooth. His dad, Mr. Motley, who came up with the name Debonnaire. Over the years, we longed it out to Debonnaire music because we just thought it was more of an experience than just a name. So maybe I was out thinking everything, but I came to the fellas. I said, "Hey, you know what? Now we're Debonnaire music because it's the whole thing. It's the band." Um, Phill, also known as Producer X, is an accomplished musician, plays like 6, 7 instruments. So
Oh,
we're more than just a singing group, and we're writing partners. It's kind of a whole thing. So Debonair music kind of described who we were as opposed to just a name, if that makes any sense.
yeah, that makes it. And Phil, is that why you got that X on
Mhm.
your can?
That's it. That's it. That's
Okay,
for the
so
unknown.
the unknown.
Unknown. You never know what I'll do.
Uh-oh. And I'm going to take it that that's a good thing.
That was a
It's a
great thing.
great thing, a great thing. Yeah.
How did you guys get together and form the group?
Well, we had Phil and I met because we were part of a production company. He was doing the music for this company, and they had brought me in to do some singing. And unfortunately, I hope they're not listening, but it was terrible. Um, but we kind of gravitated to each other. And we were like, you know what? Well, let's take this show and do our own thing. And we actually put an audition out, and that's how we found one of our lead singers, Wiley J. He came in singing, what was he singing? Switch or El DeBarge? You were like,
Like an
oh,
elder
okay.
bars. I like
Yeah,
it.
at a rehearsal. So we're like, yeah. And then we found our main lead singer. He was singing for another group in the DC area.
Mhm.
And they went through some issues, and we were like, hey, we need you to front this up. So next thing you know, the four of us were together, and this is the way it's been.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this question is for both of you guys. What inspired you to get into music?
Hmm. Me as a musician, first time I saw Prince
Mhm.
perform, that kind of just drove me into trying to just play any instrument I can get my hands on, And then once I met Willie, it's funny because we were just talking about it recently. I used to write and produce,
Okay.
And then once I met Willie, it was like I don't need to write anymore, because all I need to do is just send him the music and I can go on to the next thing, So, but as far as like inspired me to get into music, just watching Prince, and I grew up listening to pretty much all kinds of music in my house,
Okay.
Motown. My mom is Caribbean, so I listened to a lot of Bob Marley. My sisters were into rock, so I was listening to Kiss and Queen. So it was like everything, all over. You name it, the musical map my family covered it.
Okay. Willie,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
about
for me, it was the same Prince and then Michael Jackson, and then you know, seeing these great performers when you see them live. The thing that drew me in was the live performance. Um, I was really young and didn't think I wanted to be a singer. I just knew I wanted to be on stage. Somehow I got to figure out a way, and then I met Phill, and I was like, "Ooh, that's my shot. This is my chance." So I said, "Okay, I'm gonna do it." And he asked me, he said, "Hey, you want to start our own thing?" Yes, yes, let's. I want to do this forever. And you know, it's kind of like you're nervous about jumping out there and doing
uh,
it, and having people watch you and look at you doing it. And you know, once I got over that, it was I was hooked. You know, I've been addicted ever since. But it was the live performance that drew me to music.
wow. So
Yeah.
tell me what makes Debonnaire music so unique?
Well, you know, what makes it unique to us
Mhm.
is as songwriters, you know, I pull from a lot of different genres. You may not, as the listener, pick up on it. Phill always picks up on the little things that I do. You know, I pull from a lot from rock, um, you know, from all kinds of different genres, country western, folk music, you know, just pulling from different areas.
Okay.
And what made us different in the very beginning is when we first started doing this, we never did any track shows. Nobody knew who we were. We were a bunch of scrubs, but we had a full band, and we were only going to perform for you if you could accommodate our band. So we've never done a track show.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's that live energy, and it helps to have a band member that's actually part of the group. You know, Phill can coordinate everything, and he's a musician. So it's like, you know, we don't have to play anything by tape. We're going to do it live, even if it's just piano or guitar. We're going to do it live.
Wow. So Phil, what instruments do you play?
My main instruments are piano, keyboard. I play guitar, bass, drums. Tried to play saxophone, but I just don't have the wind for it. I've you know, pretty much almost any stringed instrument. I've played violin. I've played ukulele, banjo, you know, things like that. You know, these days with technology, you don't really need to be a musician, but I'll never leave musicianship. You know, regardless of how easy technology makes it. You know, it's still, you know, to me as a musician, it's nothing like being able to create it as opposed to making it.
Okay. Let me touch on that for a minute. Um, for me, the music that is coming out now is really technology driven. You have more electronic music versus playing live. So do you guys feel better playing it live, like Willie said, versus using all this different technology and adding all of that into it?
100%. You know, we still use some of the elements that, you know, are available to us today that we may not have had, you know,
Mhm.
years ago. But there's nothing like creating it. You know, there's so many programs like now with AI, you can, you know, say, I want a, you know, hip hop beat with this key at this tempo,
Okay.
go and just press a button and it creates a whole song for you. You know, I would rather, you know, take an hour to pick up the bass and play a bass line, you know, get on the drums, you know, pick up a guitar, even if it's just me by myself or, you know, bring in other musicians, you know, and then it to me that's music, you
Yes.
know. You know, some of the other stuff is okay. It's cool to listen to sometimes, but you know, there's nothing like being able to create something from scratch.
Thank you.
Yes. I mean, if
Thank you.
just imagine all your listeners are probably huge concert goers. And I'm gonna tell you a little secret behind, when you're doing live music, you don't always know where it's going.
Okay.
And sometimes we're up on stage and our music director, our bass player will start doing something and we're just like, okay, let's do that. Change the tempo or change the feel. And you just, it's organic that, AI can't really do.
Right.
I think that the technology is good for enhancement and maybe it helps to speed the process, but I would suggest that if you're trying to get into this and do this, that you should still be a musician or a singer and let those other things help you as a tool.
Okay.
But there's nothing that replaces live band, live show. Even mistakes sometimes are fun. I laugh because I used to work for Regina Bell.
Okay.
And we did a show. It was an outside park festival. And it went at 11 o'clock. This park has a rule that all noise, all music and stuff has to stop. It's an ordinance.
Okay.
So they cut off her halfway through her final song, which was Baby Come to Me. That's where everybody came to see that song, right?
Right.
She sang the last half of that song with no microphone, no music, no nothing, a cappella to the audience. And those people they almost rushed the stage. They were so happy.
Wow.
And you can't plan that. That's
No.
not.
And
what I'm saying?
everybody knew the lyrics to that song too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And you just, again, sometimes mistakes aren't mistakes if you flip it right. And a live band you can just turn around and say, you know what, let's go into some Earth, Wind, and Fire. And they'll just play, it's so organic and so in the moment. And there's nothing that replaces that.
I totally agree. We are going to take a commercial break and we will be right back with Debonnaire Music.